Jinwoo felt a wave of relief wash over him as he successfully avoided the embarrassment of sporting a visible dog collar, a fate he had narrowly escaped. The thought of wearing such a humiliating accessory had haunted him since his encounter with Cerberus, that fearsome three-headed guardian of the demon's castle dungeon. The memory of that encounter filled his heart with dread, each head of the beast representing a different facet of his fears: failure, humiliation, and vulnerability. Instead, he found himself clutching a hefty sum of 45,000 gold after selling Cerberus's fangs, a transaction that significantly boosted his overall balance to an impressive 562,362 gold. The coins glimmered in his palm, catching the light and reflecting it in a dazzling display as he counted the gleaming pieces one by one. Each shiny coin seemed to echo the challenges he had faced in the dungeon. They served as a tangible reminder of his hard-won victories and the trials that had tested his resolve. The jingling of metal against metal resonated in his ears, a melodic reminder of his achievements, filling him with a mix of pride and trepidation. The potential rewards within the looming, fiery tower of the demon's castle called out to him, tempting him with promises of glory and untold riches. However, Jinwoo, with a sense of maturity that belied his years, decided to postpone his exploration. He knew, deep down in the recesses of his mind, that venturing into such perilous unknowns without being adequately prepared would be foolish. It was a lesson he had learned the hard way, and he wasn't about to make the same mistake again. He placed the castle door key securely in his pocket, the cool metal pressing against his skin, serving as a silent vow echoing in his heart that he would return when he had grown stronger, when he had honed his skills to a level worthy of facing the challenges that awaited him. The journey ahead was daunting, but the thought of conquering the dungeon filled him with determination. He envisioned himself standing at the entrance, triumphant and ready to face whatever monsters lurked within. The anticipation stirred within him, a fire igniting his spirit, pushing him to prepare himself for the trials ahead. As the days unfolded, Jinwoo kept a watchful eye on his friend Jinho's daily progress reports, which confirmed that Jinho was diligently working on his recruitment efforts. He admired Jinho's unwavering determination, noticing how he poured his heart and soul into preparing their squad for the challenges that lay just beyond the horizon. Each message from Jinho fueled his own desire to improve, to not just keep pace, but to excel. Jinwoo often thought about how their friendship had evolved through shared experiences, and it encouraged him to push himself further. While Jinwoo would occasionally glance at the Hunter's website in search of strike squads to join, he was painfully aware that his E-rank status acted as a significant barrier, preventing him from accessing many opportunities. It was a frustrating reminder of how he was still considered a novice in the eyes of the greater hunter community. The talented hunters with their impressive ranks seemed like distant stars in the night sky, shimmering just out of reach. The memory of Dongsook's earlier opportunity resurfaced in his mind, and he acknowledged the considerable benefits he had gained from that experience: money, levels, and the invaluable skills that came with them. Each lesson learned had been a stepping stone, guiding him closer to his ultimate goal of rising through the ranks and carving out a name for himself. With no freelance work, association calls, or instance dungeon keys to occupy his time, Jinwoo decided to head to the supermarket for groceries. The familiar aisles, filled with vibrant colors and the fragrant aroma of fresh produce, provided a welcome distraction from his thoughts. The bright reds of ripe tomatoes, the deep greens of fresh lettuce, and the golden hues of ripe bananas created a feast for the eyes that momentarily lifted his spirits. As he weaved through the bustling crowd, the chatter of families and the clatter of shopping carts created a comforting background hum, a symphony of everyday life that felt grounding. The sound of laughter from children echoed, reminding him of simpler times, before the burdens of the hunter's world had weighed so heavily on his shoulders. He picked up a few items, including fresh vegetables and some snacks, his mind wandering as he contemplated his next steps, the choices that lay ahead. Suddenly, he bumped into Ilhwan Sung, a fellow hunter whose surprised expression caught Jinwoo off guard. The collision jolted him back to reality, and he quickly apologized, feeling a twinge of embarrassment creeping up his cheeks. Cheol's relief was palpable as he expressed his happiness at seeing Jinwoo recovered from his recent ordeal. The warmth of their exchange felt like a balm, soothing the lingering anxieties that had been gnawing at him since their last encounter. They exchanged pleasantries, the warmth of their conversation a welcome reprieve from the weight of the past few days. Cheol shared that Juhee had been actively looking for him, her concern evident in every word. Jinwoo felt a warmth in his chest at the thought of Juhee's care, but as his gaze fell upon Cheol's missing arm, he couldn't help but notice the discomfort etched on his friend's face as he endured the stares of others around them. It was a stark reminder of the harsh realities of their world, one where danger lurked at every corner, and the consequences of their chosen path could be dire. Cheol took a moment to express his gratitude for Jinwoo's actions during the dungeon incident, his voice laced with sincerity. It was a heartfelt acknowledgement that deepened the bond they shared, forged through adversity, and served as a comforting reminder of the strength found in friendship. Just then, Cheol received a call from the Hunters Association regarding a nearby gate, and Jinwoo felt a surge of excitement at the prospect of joining him. Without hesitation, he insisted on tagging along, eager to prove himself further, to break free from the confines of his current rank, and show everyone, including himself, what he was truly capable of. They arrived at the scene, where the air buzzed with tension and anticipation. An association employee greeted them, along with two other hunters, Kim Sang-shik, a brooding figure with a hardened demeanor, and another hunter whose past actions had left a bitter taste in Jinwoo's mouth. The tension among the group was palpable, underscored by the unspoken doubts swirling in the air. Moments later, Juhee arrived, her face lighting up with joy at the sight of Jinwoo. The warmth of their reunion, however, was soon overshadowed by the arrival of a group of probationary prisoners, led by Tae-sik Kang from the surveillance team. Jinwoo's heart sank at the sight of them, a mix of apprehension and wariness washing over him. He could sense the tension in the air, crackling like electricity, as Kim voiced his concerns about raiding alongside criminals. His voice was tinged with skepticism, reflecting the unease that hung over the gathering. But the association employee assured them that Tae-sik would be overseeing the operation, attempting to quell their fears. Jinwoo felt a knot tighten in his stomach as he sensed hostility emanating from both the prisoners and Tae-sik. He urged Juhee to withdraw, sensing that the situation was fraught with danger, but she stood her ground, refusing to leave him behind, her determination shining through her concern. As Tae-sik unlocked the prisoner's handcuffs, Jinwoo's unease deepened. He could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him, an invisible force that made it hard to breathe. Cheol took the lead, guiding the group into the dark recesses of the dungeon. The atmosphere shifted as they descended, the air growing thick with tension. The flickering torches cast eerie shadows on the walls, creating an unsettling dance of light and darkness that made every creak and whisper feel magnified. Inside, they were met with the sight of goblins lurking in the shadows, their grotesque forms illuminated by the dim light, eyes glinting with malice. Jinwoo's experience level remained stagnant, a frustrating reality given the low level of the goblins they faced. The C-rank prisoners, however, displayed a ferocious eagerness as they tore through the monsters with ruthless efficiency, their movements fluid and precise. Watching them, Jinwoo contemplated his next move, considering whether it might be time to distance himself from the association altogether. The disparity in their abilities was stark, and he felt a growing sense of isolation. As they ventured deeper, the path split into three distinct directions. Tae-sik suggested they divide to cover more ground, a decision that sent a wave of apprehension through Jinwoo. His instincts screamed that this was a bad idea, but he kept his thoughts to himself, unwilling to voice his concerns and potentially appear weak. Trusting his gut, he directed Cheol and Juhee to take the left path, sensing something ominous ahead, a nagging feeling that they needed to stay together, that splitting up could lead to disaster. As they encountered a group of goblins, the air thickened with tension, and Jinwoo's mind raced, reflecting on the newfound confidence he had gained through his recent experiences. Just as Cheol and Juhi prepared to engage in battle, piercing screams echoed from another direction, compelling them to rush toward the sound. The instinct to help surged within him, overriding any fear he might have felt. They soon arrived at a disturbing scene. Taesik Kang was wounded, blood seeping from his injuries and staining the ground beneath him. Jinwoo's heart raced as Juhi rushed to his side, her healer instincts kicking in, her hands glowing with a soft, ethereal light that promised hope. But before she could reach out to help, Taesik's demeanor shifted, and he turned on her, attacking with a ferocity that took them all by surprise. In that split second, time seemed to slow as Jinwoo instinctively intervened, his protective instinct surging within him. The tension escalated as Taesik expressed disdain for Jinwoo's low rank, his words dripping with contempt. A fierce battle ensued between the two, their skills clashing in a deadly dance that felt like a storm brewing, each strike and parry echoing with the weight of their rivalry. Cheol managed to get Juhi to safety, but Jinwoo was fully engaged, his focus narrowed on the fight at hand. The air crackled with the intensity of their confrontation, and every strike felt like a clash of wills, a test of strength and resolve. As they exchanged blows, Jinwoo noticed the blood-staining Taesik's clothes wasn't his own, a revelation that sent a chill down his spine. Taesik revealed the shocking truth, that he had been hired to kill the prisoners. The weight of his words hung heavy in the air, and with each sentence, the moral complexities of their situation became painfully clear. Taesik explained how he had been offered a substantial sum of money by the father of a victim, a rapist among the prisoners, to carry out the assassination. Jinwoo's mind reeled at the implications, grappling with the twisted nature of justice in their world. Taesik had also planned to eliminate the other hunters for an additional fee, a cold-blooded calculation that left Jinwoo feeling sick to his stomach. The reality of their situation settled heavily on Jinwoo's shoulders, the line between right and wrong blurring in a way that left him questioning everything he believed in. In a moment of desperation, Taesik utilized his stealth skill, vanishing from sight as he launched an attack aimed at Jinwoo. But Jinwoo, fueled by adrenaline and determination, managed to block the strike just in time. An urgent quest notification flashed before him, tasking him with defeating his enemies, a call to action that ignited a fierce resolve within him. Jinwoo quickly formulated a plan, luring Taesik by feigning panic, creating an opening. He stepped on Taesik's foot, a calculated move that caught him off guard, and then activated his dash ability, stabbing Taesik's thigh with Kasaka's venom fang. The poison coursed through Taesik's veins, causing panic to set in, diminishing his strength and clarity of thought. Sensing his opportunity, Jinwoo drove his blade into Taesik's chest, delivering the fatal blow that ended the threat once and for all. As Taesik fell, the urgent quest completed, rewarding Jinwoo with valuable ability points. He breathed heavily, his heart racing, and as he searched the body, he discovered a rune stone, stealth hidden among Taesik's belongings. Acquiring it felt like a small victory amidst the chaos, a new skill that could prove invaluable in the future, a tool that would enhance his capabilities and give him an edge in the treacherous world of hunting. Cheol and Juhi soon arrived, their expressions a mix of shock and admiration as they processed Jinwoo's swift victory over Taesik. Jinwoo, still riding the adrenaline of the encounter, asked them to contact the association while he set off to search for any survivors. He promised Juhi that they would have dinner together. A small beacon of normalcy in the aftermath of the chaos, a promise of connection amidst the turmoil. Once they left, Jinwoo turned his attention to the remnants of the dungeon, scanning for any lingering energy signatures. It was then that he stumbled upon the prisoner Taesik had previously tied up, a man whose face he recognized all too well, the same one who had harassed Juhi. A wave of anger surged within him, and with a determined grip, Jinwoo dragged the man to the nearby hobgoblin lair. The echoes of the dungeon felt alive with tension as he threw the prisoner to the waiting hobgoblins, a swift act of retribution that felt justified and necessary. The ensuing battle with the boss hobgoblin was intense, the creature roaring in fury as it swung its club, the sound reverberating through the chamber like thunder. Jinwoo's heart raced, fueled by the adrenaline coursing through his veins. He could feel the weight of his choices pressing down on him, but he was resolute, driven by a desire to protect those he cared for. As he emerged victorious from the battle, a sense of accomplishment washed over him, invigorating his spirit and filling him with renewed purpose. His efforts were rewarded with a level up that left him feeling stronger and more capable than ever before. The exhilaration of that moment was intoxicating, a rush that propelled him forward into the unknown. As he recalled the runestone, Jinwoo's thoughts raced with possibilities. He learned the stealth skill, a new tool in his arsenal that promised to change the way he approached future challenges. Activating stealth, he felt a rush as he became invisible, the world around him fading into a blur. The sensation was exhilarating, but he quickly realized that using stealth consumed a significant amount of his mana, a detail he would need to manage carefully in the heat of battle. It was a thrilling revelation, one that opened new doors for his strategies, but it also came with a weight of responsibility, a reminder that power must be wielded wisely. Suddenly, the dungeon shook violently, signaling its imminent closure. The ground trembled beneath him, dust and debris raining down as Jinwoo hurried to the entrance, where members of the surveillance team had already arrived, their expressions a mix of concern and urgency. He informed them that there were no other survivors, a somber weight settling over the group as they processed the grim reality of the situation. The association employee revealed that the president of Gumgang Industries had confessed to hiring Taesik, a revelation that sent shockwaves through Jinwoo's mind. The web of corruption and deceit ran deeper than he had imagined, intertwining with the lives of hunters and criminals alike, casting a long shadow over their world. The implications of this revelation weighed heavily on Jinwoo's heart, filling him with a sense of foreboding about the challenges that lay ahead. In a surprising turn, Chiul stepped forward, claiming responsibility for killing Taesik to protect Jinwoo. The weight of that admission hung heavily in the air, and Jinwoo felt a deep sense of gratitude toward his friend. Their bond had been forged in fire, and he appreciated the lengths Chiul was willing to go to for him. As they left the dungeon together, Juhee and Jinwoo walked side by side, the unspoken connection between them growing stronger with each step. Juhee revealed that she was moving back to her hometown, a bittersweet revelation that tugged at Jinwoo's heart. The news struck him like a physical blow, the thought of her leaving igniting a hollow ache within him. She returned the essence stone he had given her, her fingers brushing against his as she passed it back. The moment felt heavy with unsaid words and emotions, a poignant reminder of the bond they had shared and the uncertainty of their futures. Upon returning home, Jinwoo was greeted by a security guard who handed him a phone from the Hunters Association. As he checked the device, a wave of notifications flooded in, missed calls and texts from both Jinho and a nurse. The familiar voice of Jinho broke through the noise, filled with excitement about their upcoming raid, a reminder of the path ahead of them. Jinwoo felt a rush of anticipation at the thought of joining his friend in what could be a pivotal moment in their hunting careers. The challenges they faced were daunting, but the possibility of overcoming them together filled him with renewed hope, a spark of determination igniting within him. The next morning, Jinho arrived in a van to pick up Jinwoo, a flurry of energy surrounding him like an electric current. His enthusiasm was contagious, and Jinwoo felt a spark of motivation ignite within him. They made their way to meet the other hunters that Jinho had recruited, but the atmosphere was charged with skepticism. The other hunters eyed Jinwoo and Jinho with doubt, their expressions skeptical and critical, questioning their ability to clear C-rank dungeons. It was a moment that tested their resolve, the uncertainty hanging in the air like a thick fog. Jinwoo could feel the weight of their gazes, a pressure that threatened to crush his confidence. The path before them was laden with obstacles, but he couldn't let doubt overshadow the determination that had brought him this far. As Jinho donned heavy armor, Jinwoo felt a sense of urgency, knowing that they needed to project confidence. He insisted that Jinho remove the cumbersome gear, wanting to ensure that they were agile and prepared for whatever lay ahead. The last thing they needed was to be encumbered by unnecessary weight when facing the unknown. Together, they approached the gate, the threshold to their next trial looming before them, filled with both promise and peril. Jinwoo's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and anxiety, the thrill of the hunt coursing through his veins. This was it, the moment they had been preparing for, and he was determined to prove himself, not only to the other hunters, but to himself. The air crackled with anticipation, fueled by a blend of trepidation and excitement, and as they stepped forward, Jinwoo took a deep breath, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, his spirit ignited with the fire of possibility.